Now, a little annoyed look to her, Mark. Great, I got it.
That's beautiful. Tell me a little bit about working with Ryan.
He's an asshole. I know you've heard good things about him, but he's very tough.
Is there anything that you want us to know going into The Last Jedi? Anything you want to tell the audience or the world about this one in comparison to the other ones?
It doesn't matter.
I write sporadically and badly with no rhyme or reason whatsoever. I don't think I could ever actually write for a living, write for hire, because I take so long to write, and I just it's bad, man. It's no good.
Yeah, I had a great time, despite how somber the subject matter was.
Sure.
I mean, it says right in the script, forget the past, kill it if you have to. You're doing a pretty good job.
I would be worried if everybody across the board was like, yeah, that was a good movie. It's much more exciting to me when you get, a group of people who are coming up to you and really, really excited about it. And then there are other people who walk out literally saying that was the worst movie I've ever seen. Having those two extremes to me is the mark of the type of movie that I want to make. So, the film industry. Am I in the film industry? Is this, yeah?
My first reaction was, can't we push this off until 9? I said earlier, I don't want to repeat myself, I only asked for 2 things. No cameos and a run of the trilogy part. See how well that worked out for me?
Yeah, but that's kind of the way I write, because I'm kind of a fundamentally lazy writer. Steal from the best, right?
No, that's the way you put it.
Yeah. Although I always have, when I say professional, I do that because it feels very similar to what I was doing when I was a kid. And I've never really worked as a director, as a job. I've never really been hired onto a project and been a, professional director, I guess.
But yeah, you look for scripts that are highly original, and that's why I thought Last Jedi was incredibly daring, because I remember one thing that was very informative to me is I would say but we really have to think of what the audience expects and what they want. And he says, no, we have to do the opposite. We have to give them something they don't expect that we want. I read 7. I said, I love everybody's part except mine. And on this one, it was similar in the sense that I said to Ryan, I'm so surprised how you see Luke.
There was not a lot of method to our madness. We were just kind of meeting everyone we could and trying to figure out who could fit in where, I guess.
These films now are being made by children.
In the script writing process, how do you create and develop your characters?
I don't know. I mean, it's weird because it's easier to talk process-wise about how you develop the plot, but character-wise, it takes a while, and it's something that I don't know. It's something that you have to, and also there's no way to talk about it without kind of sounding like a dork, sounding like pretentious. At some point, they start living on their own, and then your job is to stay honest to what they're doing, as opposed to trying to manhandle them into some preconceived thing that you had.
Your vision and Ryan's vision, did it coincide with the way that Luke ends up in this film that you thought it would all these years later?
No.
No, not at all.
How much of Luke Skywalker did you discuss with Colin Trevorrow?
I had discussions with Colin, and I was very excited because we were on the same page in terms of where we wanted to go and how we wanted to see Luke in a way we've never seen him, even in this current version. But I don't know what went on. I don't want to know because there's no upside to that story. I mean, I like all those people, and I like Kathy, and I like Lawrence Kasdan, and all the people that were involved in that decision. But sometimes ignorance is bliss, and they don't tell me anything.
It could get in a situation where I would have my neat little thing all diagrammed out, but then once the actors actually start doing their thing, it doesn't line up with my neat little diagram, this isn't what I charted, and so it was a real learning experience for me in terms of keeping it looser and in terms of, letting what the actors are doing drive the visuals as opposed to the other way around.
And I started making the emotional disconnect that I need to go through when I read 7. Not the fact that I was just in at the end, the fact when I realized, oh my gosh, I'll never get to work with Harrison Ford again. That was the first big disconnect. Then the second one was, you know, realizing that, thinking that they'd kill me off in 9, that they were going to, you know, speed it up a little, you know, get rid of the old fogies and focus on the new gang. And then I relished the fact that I had at least a scene with Carrie. Because I kept saying, why would Luke turn off his telepathic powers with his sister? But then what happened with Carrie in real life, so that was so devastating that you go, well, we'll never get the band back together. So
obviously then once you get on set, that's when the real collaboration starts happening, because you start dealing with time constraints and actual physical spaces and actors and the laws of physics and everything.
And if you think you're going to go into the movie and recapture your childhood, you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
I don't think I could ever actually write for a living. It's bad, man. It's no good.
I hope people are happy. It seems like, because in Hollywood, remember, kids, it's not important if it's of high quality, only if it makes money. So because The Force Awakens made a lot of money, I can't be, it's not ergo, it's good. And oh my God, I just realized this is all on film. Because I shouldn't have gotten that specific.
I mean, if I leaked something, they'd cut off my head and throw it right in my face.
Yeah, but that's kind of the way I write, because I'm kind of a fundamentally lazy writer.
I'm loving every minute of it. Except for now, of course.